On the beer of the Frierdiker Rebbe, just the kids go over them. The two main questions the Rebbe asked was, number one, the Frierdiker Rebbe says that the Maila of the Mesiris Nefesh of Purim is the fact that there was Mesiris Nefesh. In the time of Kabbalah Satayra, when Yidden said Nasa v'Nishma, there was no Mesiris Nefesh. As great as the Kabbalah Satayra was, it was the highest darga of Giluyim, but yet they did not have to exhibit that Mesiris Nefesh, that dedication that they had in the later generations. So the question that Rebbe asked was, they certainly did have Mesiris Nefesh b'koyach. When they said Nasa v'Nishma, they potentially were expressing their readiness for Mesiris Nefesh. There was the situation didn't require actual Mesiris Nefesh, but Nasa v'Nishma is the koyach of Mesiris Nefesh. So why isn't that enough? Why do you have to have actual Mesiris Nefesh in order to have the full acceptance of Torah? The second question that Rebbe addressed was that the fact that all of this comes down, Dafke and the Gzeira and Nes of Purim and not Chanukah, is because there's something unique about the Nes of Purim as opposed to Chanukah. Hagam B'Pashtus, the reason is that historically Purim was many years before Chanukah, but the Rebbe says there has to be something, if you compare the two, there's something unique about the Mesiris Nefesh of Purim that's even greater than Chanukah. What is it about Purim in contrast to Chanukah? Let's continue inside. Yuvan zeh, we can understand this by first giving the following introduction. What's new regarding the fact that the Eibusha gives Yidden the Torah and that they have now? Even though the Yidden fulfilled Torah mitzvahs even before Matan Torah, we know that the Avis, the Shvatim, the Yidden had Torah, learned Torah, fulfilled mitzvahs even before Matan Torah. So what was the chiddush of the Eibusha giving the Yidden the Torah? The mitzvahs that the Avis fulfilled, B'chlal, Koydem Matan Torah, and more in general, B'chlal, everything that they did before Matan Torah, Hayu Rak Beruchnius, was all only done on a Ruchnius level. What says only Beruchnius? So the Rebbe explains. The noise of in addition to the fact of a common mitzvahs, Kaimu Rak Beruchnius, many of the mitzvahs they were only able to fulfill Beruchnius. For example, Kamoy Tfilin, Sheniska Bem Yitzias Mitzrayim. Tfilin has the four parshas that are said after Yitzias Mitzrayim, and you have Yitzias Mitzrayim mentioned in them. Since there wasn't yet Golas Mitzrayim, so the object of the mitzvah of Tfilin was not something that they fulfilled begashmis. But hine gamba mitzvahs shekaimu begashmis, even those mitzvahs that the Avis did fulfill begashmis, hoisam shachas hakedusha rak beruchnis. The holiness that they brought into the world was only on a ruchnisdige level. V'loi bedover agashmi sheboi kaima mitzvah. The hamshacha was not drawn into the physical object to become permanently connected. And there, in this Gashmis de Gechayfetz, that they fulfilled the mitzvah. That's what happened before Matan Torah. Everything that they did was a Ruchni Yizdige experience, including the Maisa, including the physical object. The Rebbe explains this in other places, more bariches, that when you do something, the Maisa, so very often the action that you do is merely an expression of the Ruchni Yizige experience internally that the person is experiencing. And that spills over into his Machshava Dibur Maisa. But the focus is not the action itself. The point is not the Gashmi Yizige Chayfetz, that the Kedusha is there. The Avis, the Shvatim, the Yidden before Matan Torah, the main thing was the Ruchni Yizige connection. The Ava V'yira that they had. That Ava V'yira, when you have a relationship with the Eibusha, is intense. And it comes out even begashmis into an action. But there's nothing in the action in itself as a maila to do the mitzvah here in the gashmis. It's just a hemshech and an expression of their ruchni yizige relationship. So therefore, as far as the gashmis itself is concerned, there's no permanent effect that the mitzvahs then had on the gashmis itself. Reason is kikoy the matan teire hoisa gzeire del yoinim la yerde la mata v'tachteinim la yalo la maila. Before Matan Torah, there was a decree separating the upper world, the Ruchni Yizige entity, to the world here below. And the world below, the Gashmias of the world below, could not have a connection, could not go up and have a connection to Ruchnias. Ruchnias and Gashmias are the two furthest things that exist from each other. So Ruchnias and Gashmias could not connect, could not merge and join together. Chaim lo haya chibur de kedushas ha-mitzvah. El yoinim im adova gashmi sheboi nasa ha-mitzvah tachtainem. So there wasn't a chibur, the connection, that the ruchniizige energy of the mitzvah should merge and affect the gashmiizige entity permanently. That couldn't happen. This is the chiddush. This is the new thing that happens when the Eibusher gives Yidden the Torah. When the Eibusher removes the decree and the separation between the ruchniizige worlds and the gashmiizige worlds, nasa chibur shel davar hagashmi sheboi mekayim ha-mitzvah im kedushas ha-mitzvah. Now you could join together the ruchniizige energy, the holiness of the mitzvah, and infuse it into the gashmiizige chayfetz, that the gashmiizige chayfetz should have a permanent kedusha in it. When it comes to many mitzvahs, nasa hadova hagashmi chefza shel mitzvah. The physical item itself becomes holy, it becomes a chefza of a mitzvah itself. There's different halachas regarding different mitzvahs, how you're supposed to treat the chayfetz of the mitzvah that's used for the mitzvah. There's the halacha about a tzitzis, about tefillin, about sefer Torah, and then you have lulav and esrig, and then you have the sukkah. There's different, they don't have all the same halacha regarding to what degree you have to treat them with their kedusha and their kavod of the mitzvah. There's various different levels to this. Some mitzvahs, mamish become like a sefer Torah, a tefillin, mamish become a chayfetz shel mitzvah, that you have to give it the special kedusha that it has.
This means when the mitzvah is done or even before it's done?
But Pashtus, it's there's taka two dargas in that inyan. In the Maamar of the Mittler Rebbe, the Rebbe Metzayin over here, he explains that even when you just prepare, l'mashal tefillin, sefer Torah, when you just write the sefer Torah, you prepare the tefillin, even before you read from it even once or wore the tefillin even once, it has a kedusha in it. After it's used as a mitzvah, the level of the kedusha of the mitzvah gets elevated even higher. So now it's known, how do you join together two opposites? When you have two opposite things that are so far from each other, how could you join together these two opposites? So the pshat is, bringing together these two things, that's when you have a higher force that's above both of these opposite entities, and it's not limited by the distance between the two, so it could join them both together. So move on. So if so, it's understood. The joining together of the two opposites of Al Yainim and Tachtenim that was brought, that began at the time of Matan Torah. It's because the revelation that happened then was from a level that's above Al Yainim and above Tachtenim. Al Yainim is a great revelation, but it's limited to the place of Al Yainim. It's a reality of Al Yainim. It can't merge together with the Metzias of Tachtenim. It doesn't recognize the Metzias of a Tachtim B'chlal. Tachtenim can't bring into it the Metzias of Al Yainim. If the Al Yainim comes into Tachtenim, it becomes completely bottled. That Al Yainim and Tachtenim should retain their Metzias, and they should be able to be joined together, two opposites to function together. So you have to have a revelation of Eirein Seif, where the particular properties of Al Yainim and Tachtenim are not going to contradict each other, and you can bring them together. It's like bringing fire and water together, and they can join and they can coexist. So you have to have a higher kayach, that the nature of fire, the nature of water, is not teifes makim there. It's in the potential form before there's any mitzias of fire or water, so it could come together. So Al Yainim and Tachtenim could only come together if you draw from a place which doesn't have those limitations of the Al Yainim and Tachtenim. He calls them, move on. So from all of this we understand that when it comes to the mitzvahs that we have after Matan Torah, there are three aspects to the mitzvahs. And this is what the entire Maamar is going to be based on, is these three aspects. The Rebbe is going to point out in a lot of different areas, how you see these three aspects that the Rebbe is about to say here. What are the three aspects? Ha-tachtin. There's the tachtin aspect of every mitzvah, the lower and physical aspect of what the mitzvah contains in it. Shaharei gam la'achre Matan Torah. Even after Matan Torah, sha'adavar hagashmi shaboy mekaimim ha-mitzvah nasa chefza shel mitzvah. The object that you perform the mitzvah with becomes a holy item, or becomes a mitzvah item. It's a chefza shel mitzvah. That doesn't mean that the gashmi is the gechayfetz, loses its physical existence and it becomes a ruchnisige object. V'nishar dov agashmi. It remains a physical object. Nadarabah, that's the whole objective. The whole objective is to bring the kedusha of the mitzvah into the gashmis the gechayfetz. So when the mitzvah is fulfilled, the gashmis the gechayfetz remains a dov agashmi. That's one aspect to what we have after Matan Torah. We have to deal with and we have to draw into the gashmis dafka. Then there's ha'elyon. There's the ruchnisige aspect. There's the elyon aspect in the fulfillment of every mitzvah. Shaharei gam lacher Matan Torah keshektush as mitzvah nimshachas v'nikvas behadover agashmi. The point is to bring the kedusha into the gashmisdige entity, into the gashmisdige item used for the mitzvah. But he inyan ruchni. The mitzvah is inyan ruchni. It's the ratzon Hashem and the energy of Holocaust that you're drawing into the gashmisdige object that you fulfill the mitzvah with. As we said before, there's ruchnis and there's gashmis. And then, then there's a higher energy that's behind both of these things. The gashmi is the entity of the mitzvah, and the ruchni is the energy that you draw into the mitzvah that can bring them both together. There's a higher kayach that joins them. The fact that you can join together both of these things. Although they are opposites, it's by annulling their limitations. And that's by drawing the level of Holocaust, drawing Oyrein Seif that can join together these two opposites. So on one hand, you want the Gashmiyas to remain Gashmiyas dafka, and the Ruchnias should remain Ruchnias. If it's about being Mevatel the Gashmiyas, or about diluting the Koyach of the Elyon, the energy of the Elyon, so then you're not really joining two opposites. Because you're limiting the Elyon and you're bringing it down on a level that once it comes into the Gashmias, it loses its koyach and its original power of being the Elyon. If it's about elevating the Tachton, that it loses its Gashmias, the entity, so that you're joining them together by taking away what they are, B'chlal. The Chiddush here is the Elyon remains an Elyon. The Tachton remains a Tachton. And Afal Pikain, through a higher kayach that does not have the limitations of Elyon and Tachten, you could join these two opposites together. Thing? So these are the three different points that you have in the fulfillment of mitzvahs. And Torah as well, as we'll see over here in the Maamar. So the Rebbe begins here explaining how you have this in the actual fulfillment of a mitzvah. When it comes to fulfilling the mitzvah, where do you see these three aspects? You could see these three aspects of the Tachton, the Elyon, and bringing together, being the Gedarim of Elyon and Tachten in a mitzvah. So one is, if a person is fulfilling a mitzvah simply because he has a habit, he does it just out of a habit. He has a habit or a schedule or a routine. He does the mitzvah today, tomorrow, yesterday, and there's not much of kavanah or investment of the machshava and feelings of the person that go into the mitzvah. He's just doing it out of a habit. This is what he's got used to. Kiven shehergel nasa teva. The hergel, the fact that he's accustomed to doing this every day, becomes like second nature. That's one kind of a mitzvah. So this is a kiyama mitzvah. This is when a person fulfills a kiyama mitzvah shalai, hu mitzateva guf v'nefesh ativis. His body operates this way. Wakes up in the morning, he has his regimen, he has his schedule, and comes to davening, he does this thing. So the Gashmis the Gebari, this is the very lowest aspect of the fulfillment of the mitzvah, where the Gashmis the Gebari is doing a mitzvah. And it's the Nefesh HaTivis, even his Nefesh HaBahamis, his Nefesh HaTivis, the Tachton Sheba'adam, is doing the mitzvah mitzah, the habit, the routine that it has. How about the feelings in the mitzvah? The relationship, the ruchnisig aspect of the mitzvah, the avaviyira and so on, that's not there necessarily. This is a mitzvah that's done simply with the physical body. The tefillin is laid on the arm and the head, tefillin on the head. The gashmius of the mitzvah is fulfilled. He's yaitz the mitzvah. Mitzvah, even if it's done without any hergish whatsoever, is done. That's the pashata and simplest and lowest form of a fulfillment of a mitzvah. Stripping it from any of the ruchnisig feelings, the physical fulfillment. Then, look at Shemekayim is a mitzvah. On the opposite spectrum, you have a fulfillment of a mitzvah. The fulfillment of a mitzvah is an expression of his love. V'chovetz lidavka bay. And the person has a desire to cleave, to connect to Hashem. V'yevshel lidavka bay be'emes, and you cannot truly connect kiyim b'kiyim ramach b'kudim shem ramach evarim de malka. Only by fulfilling the 248 mitzvahs, which are like the 248 limbs of the king. So if a neshama really wants to connect, how do you connect? You can't connect just through feelings, through good feelings or a love for Hashem. The connection is expressed through the fulfillment of the mitzvah. So over here, kiyam ha-mitzvahs shaloi hu mitzad ha-neshama nefesh alakis. The entire fulfillment of the mitzvah is just an expression of his neshama. The fact that the mitzvah, the tefillin, is on his physical body is not his focus at all. For a person like this, that his whole focus is the avos Hashem v'yiras Hashem, just like there's a mitzvah of ahavtas Hashem alekecha, and there's a mitzvah of Hashem alekecha tira. The mitzvah of putting on tefillin, which is a physical act, is the same expression of love, like the mitzvah of love, like the mitzvah of loving the Eibishter. Elamai, here it comes into a gashmis zigachayfetz, that he's doing the mitzvah begashmis with a physical thing, but that's not at all the focus of the mitzvah. The whole mitzvah that he's doing is simply for the purpose to express his love to the Eibishter. And the only way you could express your love and connect with your love is through the physical action. But the physical property of the mitzvah is not significant over here. So it's mamish, the opposite of the person that his entire fulfillment is just a bodily action, with the guf gashmi. Kiyam ha-mitzvah shaloi is mitzad neshama, nefesh alakis. That's the second kind of mitzvah. The elyon sheba adam. The elyon, the neshama in the person. Then there's another mitzvah, another kind of mitzvah, the third level of a mitzvah, the highest level of a mitzvah. Then you have a person that's doing the mitzvah just for the sake of the mitzvah. The Eibishter commanded the mitzvah, and he's doing the mitzvah just for the sake of the mitzvah. Not because of any benefit, or not that he's trying to express anything through fulfilling this mitzvah. Not even a ruchni is a gatayalas. There's nothing that the person is looking to gain or express through the mitzvah. This is Hashem's will, and he fulfills what Hashem wants of and commands of him. The mitzvah is being fulfilled not based on where he's up to and whether it's a mitzvah mitzad his body. A mitzvah mitzad his neshama, not mitzad his mitzias at all. He's doing the mitzvah simply as a servant that's been commanded to do a certain action, and he fulfills that mitzvah. His entire focus is, I am fulfilling what Hashem requested of me. I'm doing what he wanted of me, and the person is not thinking what kind of a tayalas he'll have from this. He's not trying to express his love to the Eibishter. He's not doing it as a routine because this is where the Eibishter wanted, that the tefillin should be in the body. It's not doing that stam as a routine, but he's doing it as an eved, with bittul to fulfill the Eibishter's mitzvah. So over here, this kind of a mitzvah, you can't describe it as a mitzvah that's the elyon of the person. It's not a mitzvah which is the tachten of the person. This is a mitzvah which is the Eibishter. It's all about the Eibishter, which is above elyon, which is above tachten, and that's why the person is doing it. That's the higher level of a mitzvah. Huh? So these are the three madreges in fulfilling the mitzvah. It's interesting because what it comes out of here is, the Rebbe is saying it's three different levels. Before the Rebbe spoke about the fact that you have in the mitzvahs after Matan Torah, you have the elyon, you have the tachten, and then you have to join them together. Here the Rebbe is saying that you have three different individuals. Some people, their mitzvah is just a tachten mitzvah. Other people, their whole mitzvah is an elyon mitzvah. They're ruchni is the good people. The gashmis is not teifes mokim. Then you have people that their mitzvah taka joins together, elyon and tachten. You could see it in the very performance of their mitzvah, that they're doing it for the Eibishter's sake. And it's above elyon and above tachten, and it's able to join the two together. The Emes says any mitzvah, every mitzvah that anybody does, is joining together elyon and tachten. If you fulfill a mitzvah, you're drawing ruchnizik energy. You're fulfilling what the Eibishter wants, even if you don't have any kavanah, you have no ave v'yireh, that's mitzad your feelings. You don't have that relationship. But if you do what the Eibishter wants of you, you're drawing a ruchnizik energy. And you're doing it with your physical body and with a physical object, there is a gashmi thing over there as well. So the Rebbe is not saying over here that there's some mitzvahs that are only tachten, some mitzvahs that are only elyon. You can't say that. Every mitzvah has the chibur of elyon and tachten. Yet, there are chilukim in the madreges. Some people, the focus of their mitzvah is be'ikir in the tachten. They're just doing it with their guf. Some people, it's be'ikir with the elyon. It's just an expression of their neshama. And by some people, he's an eved. He's doing it with bittul, like an eved, to do it for the Eibishter's sake, and therefore it could join together the elyon and tachten to a much greater degree.
What is the difference between the second and the third?
In the second level, there's a tayelis that the person is thinking about. The person wants to connect, a zucht. He wants to connect to the Eibishter. His neshama is thirsty. Like al derech, the word that the Gemara says regarding Rabbi Akiva. When could I come and experience an even closer relationship with the Eibishter through Mesiris Nefesh? The neshama is zucht epis. In the third level, the neshama is zucht garnished. Like Avraham Avinu, the Eibishter tells me to do something, he gets it done. It requires Mesiris Nefesh. I have to do it with a Gashmi mitzvah. I have to do it with this item, with that. The person is zucht garnished. It's whatever the Eibishter wants, that's what I get done. So it's not an expression of the neshama. It's not a habit of the body. It's just to be an eved of the Eibishter and do what the Eibishter wants from me.
By tzaddikim, there's the tachtim.
By tzaddikim, l'chayre, that's the second level that he's talking about. When a person is doing it mitzad the ruchnius, because his neshama has a thirst and wants to connect, that's mitzad tzaddikim. But, I mean, you have a tzaddik that's on the level of an eved neman, an eved pashut. So he's doing it because of this. This is what the Eibishter wants of me. So then it's not only a desire of his neshama, but it's as an evet to fulfill what the Eibishter wants.
The pashut is someone who's mamish on the low level. So there's even a greater ma'ila that it's a tachtin, mamish.
That the mitzvah is being done with the tachten. Mamish with the physical body. Okay. Here the Rebbe l'chayre, the way the Rebbe brings it is as a chesaron. Doing a mitzvah in an oifen of mitzvahs anashim ulumada, when a person is not paying attention to anything that he's doing, it's just like a habit. That's a chesaron. He's lacking. The mitzvah is just the body doing the mitzvah, without the mila of bringing his neshama in. It's just a chesaron, huh?
Another place it brings down that mitoch shelo lishma balishma, the mitoch that really he's doing it in milumada, but really the deep desire, he wants to connect.
Correct.
He wants the mitzvah.
Yeah.
So the deeper part is in the hidden fashion.
Yeah, but that's behelim though.
Right.
That's behelim. The goli though, the mitzvah is being done just as a tachten. Yes, lahoise. We can add another point to this. Sha'ashayirish the gimel efana meilu bekiyuma mitzvahs. What's the root? What's the source of this? That in the actual fulfillment of mitzvahs, you have three approaches, three ways how a person can fulfill a mitzvah. When you look in the mitzvahs itself, before you come to the person fulfilling them, Yesh Gimel Inyanim. There are three different aspects to what make up a mitzvah. B'dugmas Gimel Eifanim shebekiyam mitzvahs, which correspond to the three Eifanim that a person fulfills a mitzvah. What are the three aspects of the very mitzvah itself? You know, sin as a mitzvahs lamato. On one hand, what are mitzvahs? What is the whole point of mitzvahs? So the Eibishter gives us mitzvahs, Yikemayim Razal, as it says in the Medrash, Le'nitnu ha-mitzvahs, Elo litzaref ben asabriyas. The Eibishter gives us mitzvahs in order to refine us, in order to give us the ability to elevate ourselves, refine ourselves, and so on. Hainu meaning, Sha'akavana ben esinas ha-mitzvahs, see the purpose of the Eibishter giving us mitzvahs. He's loibishvil ha-mitzvahs atzmam. It's not, the purpose is not just for the mitzvah itself, that there's an action that has to be done, for the Eibishter, that an action has to be done. He doesn't need anything. Ella rather, what's the purpose of the mitzvah? B'shvila birur v'hazichoch shal koiches ve'ivare ha'adam shemekayim es ha-mitzvah. The purpose of the Eibishter giving us mitzvahs is because of the effect that the mitzvah has on the person that does the mitzvah. U'b'shvila birur v'hazichoch shal advarim sheba'olam shebehem mekayim es ha-mitzvah. And also because the effect and the elevation that the physical item that's used for the mitzvah will be elevated and transformed. That's one aspect of the mitzvah. The whole point of the mitzvah, I mean, this is something which the Alter Rebbe speaks about Barichas and Tanya, Perek Lamed Zayin, where the Alter Rebbe discusses. The whole union of the mitzvah is to elevate the tachten, to take a world which seems to be a yesh, a nifred, a tachten, separated from the Eibishter, and reveal what it is, what the true entity of the mitzias of the world is, to use it for the Eibishter's sake. And a person as well, to bring the connection to the Eibishter, not only Beruchni is, the Alter Rebbe is doch Meirich and Tanya. When a person davens and learns, and he has Avos Hashem and Yiras Hashem, he connects to the Eibishter with his Neshama on a Ruchni level. When you do a physical mitzvah, You elevate and connect your Gashmias, your Nefesh Bahamis, your Guf to the Eibush. And that's the main objective of the mitzvah, to elevate and refine the Gashmias of the world. That's the Tachton aspect in the mitzvah. Continue with Hashem next week. I'm not going to be here Sunday morning. Continue on Monday, Mitzvah Hashem.
But there'll still be